15th Sunday of Ordinary Time. The Gospel is from Mark 6, verse 7 to 13. And the theme is, Missionaries are no long rangers. Years ago, when I was still a seminary in formation, I applied to go to Paraguay in South America for my overseas training experience. We call this OTP, which stands for Overseas Training Program. Today, the program is often referred to as CTP, or Cross-Cultural Training Program, since some seminarians do not necessarily go overseas. At any rate, my superiors discouraged me to go to Paraguay on my own. Since it was better that we would go in pairs, I had to find a classmate who was willing to accompany me. I have to admit that I did not fully understand this wise practice until I got to Paraguay. It is true that there are many challenges and difficulties in being a missionary, but more so as a lone missionary. A lone missionary is more likely to be discouraged and be at risk of danger and temptation, of course. A pair of missionaries, on the other hand, can encourage and support one another, correct each other's mistakes, and overcome obstacles by praying and discerning together. Thus, having my classmate with me to support and encourage me along the difficult life of a missionary had helped me persevere to this very day. Likewise, in today's gospel reading, a reading which is very familiar to us, Jesus wisely sent out the apostles to participate in his teaching and healing ministry, not as lone rangers, but in pairs, 2 by 2. For practical purposes, Jesus paired them up so that they could have companionship and be reliable witnesses, as well as provide mutual protection and moral support for one another. The practice of Christian missionaries working in pairs or in teams is not uncommon in the early church. Such examples are found in the Acts of the Apostles. For example, Peter and John were sent to Samaria to do missionary work there, or Paul and Barnabas was sent by the church in Antioch to embark on missionary journeys together. It takes a lot of discipline and sacrifice to be a missionary. Recognizing the challenges of a missionary, Jesus gives concrete instructions for the journey. The first set of instructions in today's gospel deals with the apostles' traveling gear. These missionaries are allowed to take a walking stick or a staff and to wear sandals. Both of these items are practical instruments for travelers in the ancient world. Sandals protect one's feet, and a staff can use to fend off enemies or snakes or wild animals. However, in the Bible, to wear sandals is a symbol of dignity. And to carry a staff is a symbol of authority. So when Jesus sent them out, wearing sandals and a staff, Jesus gave them the authority and the dignity of an apostle, a one sent by Jesus himself. Besides these items, the apostles were instructed to take no food, no sack, and no money in their belts, not even a second tunic. By simply taking only the bare necessities for the journey, the disciples demonstrate their complete dependence upon God and the hospitality of others. That comes to the second set of instructions, which deal with the missionary etiquette. The instruction to say, is to stay in one place and not to move from house to house, preventing missionaries from taking advantage of the principle of Christian hospitality of local sympathizers or supporters. Such abuse was clearly perpetuated by some itinerant prophets and missionaries in the early church. In any case, Jesus' instruction indicate that the success of Christian missionary endeavors relies upon both the collaboration of the missionaries themselves and the hospitality of local supporters, those we call benefactors, for example, in our modern term. Both are partners in mission. So today's reading, today's Sunday liturgy, today's gospel particularly, call each one of us to participate in God's mission. We are all called. Some are called to be missionaries overseas. Others are called to be missionaries wherever we are. And we can do that by supporting the missionaries with our means, with our support, with our prayers. In summary, Jesus had chosen an ordinary band of followers who were often unperceptive, unbelieving, and had many flaws. Yet he conferred on them an extraordinary responsibility to preach as well as to heal. Unencumbered by material things, they obediently went out with urgency to participate in Jesus' mission. Wearing sandals and carrying a staff, they rely completely on God and the hospitality of others. They did not go as lone missionaries, but in pairs. The gospel passage today offers us a glimpse of hope, a hope for our world and the mission of Jesus Christ. Despite our flaws, our sins, and our weakness, and our fear, we are also charged with a mission, not as lone rangers, but rather as partners in mission. Some may travel to distant lands, while others are local sympathizers, local supporters, benefactors. Both parties have an important role to play in the mission endeavor. Even the Lone Ranger, the fictional masked man who fights injustice in the old Western movies, needed his Native American companion, Tonto, for support. Collaboration is crucial for the success of mission and ministry in today's world. The question, therefore, is, what is the specific mission that Jesus has called you to do today?